back for another episode of Our Journeys, and we're going to be doing something a little bit different. You can take a quick gander. This is a deck I'm going to be running called Alignment. Not very creative, but there's the deck list. We'll talk about it in a second, but let's go ahead and jump into some games. A little bit of a time crunch today. I'm doing this at a different time and a little bit different format for this particular video. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, so I have not had a chance to do diddly squat on the ladder. I haven't really had much chance to do anything with this particular account this whole month. So as you can see, I'm still rank 5. I'm going to be making a somewhat push for rank 4. I'd like to get to rank 4, but it's going to have to happen in the course of this video, and I don't know how far I'm going to get into it. But you saw there, alignment. The idea is using throne aligned, and it's buffing shackle ability with cards that will actually set you free. And as you know, as many of you may know, I had a deck called Silence and Violence in Warrior colors, and I did try one in Sorcerer colors, but that didn't seem to work out as well. And this is kind of the same thing with just a few other additions, some things that I picked up from A. Ross and some other folks who have advised on deck building in general. I didn't put a lot of time into it. I had the skeleton, like kind of basically what I wanted to do, and then there's one of our key players. Let's go ahead and get a reclaimer down here.
Well, let's see if we can find something useful.
And so I haven't crafted or sculpted this per se. I've just kind of gone off the basic rules and principles, as it were. Oh, that's so mean. All right, so this is a hand buff Redoran, in case there was any doubt about that. Maybe even Prophecy heavy, considering Midnight Snack, unless he's also running dragons in there. I mean, I think it's pretty clear. I'm reluctant to put Dres down because he is, if we do get our throne aligned deal going, he is kind of one of the important pieces. Or I have several other shackled creatures. I think I'm only running 2 of the Imprisoned Deathlord because the other one, there's a mummy, the 4/6/6 mummy. He's only shackled for the first turn. The one thing I learned the hard way is that if you expunge, that's another key card that we're running. If we expunge on Imprisoned Deathlord, it only expunges him for 1 turn. And so if they play a creature on the next turn, yeah, we'll go ahead and put him over here. If they expunge him on the next, if they play a creature on the next turn, he gets shackled again. So I didn't want to run as many of him because he's a conditional free up, whereas I can play Dres with the 4-cost 6/6 mummy, and the only turn it's inherently shackled for is that first one, so it allows me to play him on that turn. It's kind of a surprise. So we'll see if Kaiser Goku, interesting combo there, it's some anime and other such things here. Okay. But you weren't counting on my friend Dres Renegade. Waha! Go put this over here.
Call it theft, I call it learning.
So Dres is probably going to get hit. The cool thing is, if they use removal on Dres, then chances are they don't have a creature to play with. And they got to take him out. Oh, you and your veteran forerunners. How nice it must be to get all of them. Oh, nice.
Now I have you.
So let's. Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and get one of these out. Exalt him, and we'll give him a dagger just in case. That way, there is really no good trade for Kaiser Goku in that lane. At the moment, obviously, the board state can change in a flash.
I'll clear a path.
All right, so are we going to get Dawn's Wrath here? Well, I guess no, because she couldn't trade. So he clearly doesn't have an item or anything to equip on her, so really no point in, just kind of throwing her at the bodies there. Okay, no, maybe he does have, which is going to, well, shoot. Nope, we can't do. We can do Mighty Conjuring next turn if the 5/3 sticks, but it doesn't look like that's what's going to happen here, unfortunately for us. What are you going to do?
That was a mistake.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I would say sorry, but so I'm going to say sorry.
I must apologize.
But that's not even the right kind of apology. But I do genuinely feel sorry because I genuinely don't want to win because somebody screwed up. I don't know what exactly he wanted to do or what he meant to do, so I can't. And the way the game is, I just don't feel like it's. I think I should go bring back a veteran forerunner. No, okay. Surprised me there. I wonder if the veteran forerunner is his only.
That was a mistake.
I get you, buddy. I get you. Now.
You are not worthy.
I probably should have broken the runes first just in case he got a prophecy javelin. Not really sure if he's running heavy removal, like if we could see a Dawn's Wrath in that lane. It would suck, but I mean, hand buff, I wouldn't necessarily expect that. The good news is we do have our Vigilant Ancestor to play, and we have Expunge, so even if our Dres Renegade eats it... Cool. Is that lethal?
Powerful blows.
I think that's lethal. Yeah.
This was a worthy.
All right, so we got one. We got one. And back by popular request, we are going to check in with Thiago the blacksmith. Send me this video. We're going to look at it together and see what crazy shenanigans his Singleton Telvanni is going to bring us. Thiago sitting comfortably in the tower right now and up against Blossom Plus, who is also in the tower. And we've actually got it. Hopefully, y'all can hear it. We've actually got music going in the background that I can hear, so he's already adapted to that adjustment. And aha! Oh, he's actually making it a little louder there. Sweet. Okay. Well done, Thiago. He did say that the reason why the volume is a little bit low is because, or it really wasn't there much at all, because he actually listens to another music source. And you see him lighting up the little squishy things over on the left, deftly before he destroys Blossom's bat. Already has his nice chunk of his late game, and really just going ham on the squishy things. And what is that? Okay, so he's, wow. You don't, and look at that, top decks the removal for the Fighters Guild Hall, I think it is. Yeah, the come and warm yourselves, which is usually the line there. We got to hear a variation of that here. And he has Brave's card back. Or the one that I used for her transitions there. Very cool. All right. In order to get to that, he might have to mummify. Well, he can mummify either one, and you pretty much have the same result. Blossom will be left with a 2/2. But yeah, you don't usually see in a 3-attribute deck. That's the first time I think I can remember seeing that Winterhold, the card, the support that gives all your strength creatures a +1 buff. And we see Blossom has a nice smattering of cards. Okay, so he kind of does. I was thinking he might do a Dark Rebirth. That would make a whole lot of sense. So he uses his Abner instead to duplicate the effect, and instead of having 1 2/2 left, he does have a 5/2 left. So we still might see a mummification, although the mummification might be better used now that Blossom is investing considerably in it. Might be better for the 7/9, because right now things are at, oh no, wait, okay, this is not a Singleton. This is not a Singleton Telvanni list. This is something a little different. So again, we see his patience paying off as he has a better target than that 5/2 for the mummification. Yeah, so this is I guess that's just a straight up Telvanni. I try not to pat myself on the back when I am able to point out the obvious like that, but I know you all appreciate it. So Thiago in kind of a familiar place. We've seen him just kind of get rushed down. Wow. That was perhaps a bit... I recognize Ward Tong. Ooh. That's a nice, healthy high roll there. From High King Emmerich. And a great proc from the Fleeting Apparition. Another one. Okay, no, okay, he'd have to sacrifice that one for it to be. Not bad, though. Not bad. Refilling his hand. Blossom now running on fumes with, I mean, kudos. You know, able to get to rank 3 with, was it Skooma Racketeer or, I can't remember what he's called. But a Pilfer deck that also has the strength support. A bit, you know, admittedly, a bit of a confusing list. Does he have all 3 copies of? Okay, gets all the SNECs. Doesn't have to worry about that. And we are going to get some value out of the Dark Rebirth. Another great. Oh, that is huge. Ooh. Yeah, that's a bit of a dud there. Probably want to replace that. Oh my gosh! No way! Right now, both those guards survive. Now, granted, he's 1 card short of being able to do... And another one, but, I mean, Blossom's not running a very heavy strength list, so it's kind of a peculiar include. I wonder how much of that is just... These are the cards I have available. Again, got to rank 3, and we might see... We could very well see Jarl Balgriff. Unless Blossom has a removal or a charge creature that can do 4 damage, or 3 damage. Nope. Bam! Down goes the gate. Close the door. Balgriff says, bye-bye, Blossom. Oh, there we go. Now we've got a Throne of Line, so we're going to hold on to that. Probably don't want to play it until we have an expunge or something along those lines. Ideally, we don't.
To your house.
But we might play it next turn just to get a 5/5. And the great thing is, I mean, it gives you a guard. So if you're up against an aggressive deck, they have to use a silence or something to get rid of it.
Everything was taken from me. Today, I'll pay in kind.
All right, so...
Do your worst.
And I do like the sound effects that come along with that. So yeah, ideally we wouldn't play that unless we've got something. We had nothing else to play, so I was like, all right, well, we'll give that a try, see what happens.
If I fall.
Okay, that's what happens. Good to know. All right, what else we got here? Again, don't want to play Vigilant Ancestor without an answer. Do I want to contest this? I feel like he's going to give it like a ward and lethal or something like that. Tell you what. Give him something to chew on. They're not able to go face. I mean, she's still getting her pings in, which is a little bit sad, but I'm not going to cry about it. Not going to cry here because I'm a big boy. Big boys don't cry.
Chaos.
Ooh, interesting. Taking out the guy who's permanently shackled unless something happens, and leaving the 5/4 who... Okie dokie.
Out of my sight.
Interesting. All right. Oh, no. Whee!
I'm ready for you.
And I got to remember, this deck should be played a little more mid-control. Like we want to control the board and then go at it, because like when you've got like the Hulking Mummy and Prison Death Lord, they're like time bombs. You put them down. Okay. And now he's going to have to answer our Hulking Mummy. Yeah, because I can't play 2 things at the moment. So we'll see what he has to do about that. Because he's only shackled for 1 turn. I'll play Imprisoned Deathlord when I have a definitive way. Well, I guess Sorcerer's Negation is a definitive way to unshackle. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. As always. But yeah, so yeah, so you will be seeing some other videos in here, and an encouragement. Like I said, if you want, would like to be a part of it, you can give me the... Alright, so we're going to negate that puppy before he starts spiraling out of control. Anything with movement, shifty stuff is not fun. Alright, so this is I guess a burn assassin of sorts. Bye-bye, kitty. Bye-bye. You're going to have to sacrifice your Leaf Lurker next turn, buddy. Alright, let's see. Again, I don't really have... Now I definitely don't have a way to free him up. So what we're going to do... A little bit of this. Split up the lanes a little bit. See what we can... We can poke Nervous Cervex. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Naughty. Naughty Nervous. Naughty Nervous. You made me say it. Made me say it.
You're finished.
I may be. You're doing a pretty good job of whittling my health down here. Alright. But you're also running out of cards, which is good news for me. Let's see here. I had health gain in this deck. Unfortunately. And yeah, I just said that I shouldn't play him unless I have a way to unshackle him. They're down to 2 cards. If it's like a finish off, which is what he'd need in that shadow lane. Like it makes it okay. Alright, so that doesn't count as a creature. So he's going to have to shackle it manually. Now he's going to be able to hit me for 9, which is a problem. Okay, we do have Drain in here. She just decided she was going to take a long time to show up. Alright, so we will unshackle our Imprisoned Deathlord. And see what... Oh, you know what? Maybe we want to put a guard down.
I'll keep a lookout.
Seems like a pretty keen idea. That.
Let's put these to use.
Over there.
Smell the stench of the living.
Get rid of one of our daggers.
Don't underestimate me.
And we're in no rush
I call it learning.
at the moment. We will be hitting face next turn. I bet Nervous is very nervous at this moment. All right, there we go. So we were able to turn the corner there. Dano, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Gonna hold off on a couple of these for the moment. Yeah, I was tempted to break through, and now I will say I think it's a little.
Luck to your house.
It's a little easier to avoid breaking the rune when you have a pretty big board and you don't have to worry about closing it out in a turn. If I had to, like if I didn't have a drain on the board, and if I was going to have to take 2 more turns to build it up, I might have tried, just because you know they're running bolts and things like that in that deck. So, all right, I'm going to put down the Barrow Stalker, knowing full well that Klevt almost certainly has a Shadow Shift or a Bewildering Speed. Some way he will not have to trade his 1/1.
Surprise!
Here we go. Yeah. It sucks to be right sometimes.
The Mages Guild gave this one a home. This one will never.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
It does suck to be right sometimes. For me, it's kind of a regular thing, but.
So much for a clean skin.
Yep.
Give no quarter.
This one can be counted upon.
Don't like the way this is going. Now, I do have Skinned Hound in here in order to... Ooh. Alright, well, that's where Wardcrafter is going to come in handy. Alright. Not looking good for our heroes, but...
Watch yourself now.
we are not going to play our expunge. We have nothing to heal, nothing to unshackle. We do have an imprisoned Death Lord to play next turn, though, hopefully. Alright, we forced one trade. Unfortunately, the 2 pilfering critters, and now 3 pilfering critters. Yeah, we're up against it against Clevt here. With another Thieves Guild. Or Fighters Guild, right? Is that Fighters Guild? Yeah. Yeah, so we're just not having a great time here. And if he gets that... If he's able to play the... Yeah, you get to pilfer more than once, kitty. We're in dire straits. Which means we'll see it come down here.
Shaveskin fool! So much for a clean escape.
So like I said, I'm going to probably have to Shadow Fen him because Expunge is only going to free him up for one turn.
This one can be counted upon.
Now the bummer is, because I keep healing with my Barrow Stalker, they haven't broken any runes, and so there we go. Just as bad as the 3/5 kitty.
This one can be counted upon.
Alright, that's incredibly annoying. Oh my gosh, can we stop please? Oh, for crying out loud. Alright, this game is just too annoying to keep playing. We might have been able to win, but I'm just bored. That's just annoying.
Hello everyone, it's Vincenzo here. Trying to do some last minute ladder climbing. I'm doing this literally on the second to last day of the month. But this is a skeleton kind of token deck that I made and have been testing out with some people. I haven't brought it on the ladder too much yet, just because I've been lacking some time. But I'll probably send Schwaaard the deck code for this if anyone wants to give it a shot. It's pretty light on legendary. It's got Dawnbreaker, the On-Day Clan Sorcerer. Okay, never mind. It's not really that light on them, but yeah, I mean, it's not the cheapest deck to make, but this is it, so we'll see how it does today. Howdy, chap. Good to see you here. Okay. So Ancient Lookout is literally only here for Skeletal Dragon. They never really come down at the same time, but it is pretty funny when you play this and people expect
one person's
mostly
trash
dragon
is
deck.
another's treasure.
Merchant, read my lips. Mouth paws.
Okay, that's interesting. So that's just gonna keep getting cover. So I'm gonna just kind of ignore it for now.
A find like this
Inside.
belongs in a museum.
What'd you get? An action. A double action card in red and blue.
Did
Mana Jack, I think.
Back off.
Behold,
Yeah.
my magnificent monster.
Okay. I think I should probably
power from their A find
this
like
guy.
this belongs in a museum.
support.
Apologies.
What are you gonna do?
A find like this
Is this just gonna
belongs
be
in
an
a
RNG
museum.
game? Oh my god. This is obnoxious.
Let's do the fish stick.
Mine. Back off.
He'll be a small guy, but we can at least nuke this. It is is just RNG. Just straight RNG. Okay. Alright, I think we'll get this guy
My
down.
axe is sharp.
Start
and my
tracking some
patience
damage.
is thin.
And I'm just gonna hope that they're kind of
Did you hear
low-rolling
that?
everything. And getting a bunch of cards that they can't really play. I mean... Probably not gonna happen. Yeah.
I know you're out there.
Decisions. I think if I just stop this, maybe you just defend this guy. We'll threaten lethal on them by the next turn.
I stand to serve.
Wow. I have never seen that get played that well.
I bring your death.
I think just to be annoying, I'm gonna... And hopefully Bone Colossus on the next turn can help me clutch something here. I do just have lethal with that. I'm feeling like I'm not gonna be able to swing in. Skeleton Champion is probably the better thing to play, actually.
Great shall be your reward in paradise.
By the aid of fine
Probably just get rid of that.
farewell, fool.
Yeah, I won my first game back after not playing for a couple weeks, really.
Losing, I don't mind. I don't mind losing, but the death by 1,000 cuts is not something I'm prepared to sit in for. You know, when you're away from the game. Now, full confession, and I, like I said before, I figured I'd go ahead and say this in this video. I have actually started an alternate account. Did it recently, partially because I wanted to, like, have a reason to pay for things in the game. And when you're first starting out and you have nothing, it does. That's a curve, isn't it? Well, we don't want him first. And you know what? It's a curve, but it's not a curve we want. All right. Yeah, so I have created an alternate account. And I thought about not mentioning it, but I mean, it's not like I'm trying to keep it a secret. I just, there's an aspect of the game
I smell the stench
to just
of the
like,
living.
there's public. Like if I'm online, if I'm playing, it's like, okay, I'm ready to engage with folks. Like I'm ready to mix it up, to either record your games, maybe play one, you know, like play some friendlies or record stuff. Like it's, for lack of a better term, like public domain. Like that is the facet of this. But I was like, you know what? There's just times where I just wanna.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
Watch yourself now.
Where I just kind of want to chill, have some downtime. And it's not that, I mean, because I can simply say, like, if somebody's like, hey, do you want to play? I can be like, nah, I'm not into that. Or, hey, you know, do you want to spectate a game? It's like, no, I can draw that line. But I want it to be a thing where people don't have to guess. It's like, oh, is he in the mood to do this or is he not? Interesting. So, E7 Monarch.
For the last time.
And I will say, I've only played one.
Face me, you dog. Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
All right, so both of our guards are going to eat it here. I've only played a game against one person that I know, one friend. Everybody else, I've been off the radar because I'm not really playing that much either. It's very, man, I don't want to use my Dres here. Okay, good. Stop it, Shadowlane. So yeah, so just like I said, I'm just kind of keeping that as a ooh. Well, I don't have a way to get another. You know, we're going to do it because he's going to buff himself up here on this next Pilfer. And I don't want him getting too big, especially if he does like a Swift Strike or something.
If you're looking for trouble, you'll find.
Interesting.
Five-fold veneration, my friend.
Well, it's fresh. I'll give it that. Yeah, let's do that. I only run one of those, so there's probably a lot of stuff I need to
My paws are quicker than your eyes.
adjust in this deck list to make it better. Like I said, I probably want to have a little more drain, like a Night Shadow or something, because this is a hold your ground until your big boys come down. It's really not meant to rush down. It's meant to control the board. And I think I'm running 2 copies of the Puppers, but I might have to run a 3rd copy because the idea is, worst case scenario, back against the wall, I can play the Imprisoned Death Lord and throw a guard on him, and we're good to go. Okay, well, I mean, I guess that does buff him up, so there's that.
You took a wrong turn, stranger.
So we may expunge just for the draw here.
Too slow.
I like that. Let's get rid of our Scroll Seeker. Now we know, obviously, from the Ice Storm that that E7 or ET Monarch is probably running removal, like a good bit of it. So we might see our 6/6 eat it here. Now we're at a, I mean, we are at a slight card disadvantage. Our hand is smaller than our opponents. Wow, and they're just playing all kinds of fresh and crazy stuff here. Let's see. Do I want... Yeah, let's go ahead and Dres it up here. Man, I don't know if I want to give them a card at the moment. Like I said, we don't quite have the card advantage I'd want. We can't finish it off next turn, and we start giving them a lot of options with that much Magicka. We're going to be in some trouble. That said, it could very well happen. Like, I'm not resolute. It's very hard for me to avoid. Okay, so that's what he's doing. So we're going to have to Encano that, which is going to give him a card. So we might just start going full bore on this. I think he's going to want to keep his 2/2 alive, because that's his card draw at the moment. Yeah. Alright, so luckily, we'll do a little bit of that.
I will spill your blood.
I wouldn't say flexing, body bag. I'm not flexing my premiums. I'm just... Alright.
Apologies.
You're fine, you're fine.
I have many important things on my mind.
Alright, and we're going to want to...
I've got this.
If we're going to break a rune, might as well break it big.
Child's play.
And what do we want to expunge here? Let's go ahead and expunge this. Alright, cool. Alright, so we got an apologies. I don't know if that means Dawn's Wrath. If so, it's really not all that bad, because... And you can't have Red Year. Maybe Debilitate? Because Ice Storm really... Well, Ice Storm does... Yeah, Ice Storm hurts us pretty bad with what he can trade with. So that could be a problem. But... I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things go. So yeah, anyway, yeah, so I've got a secondary account that's just like for when I want some downtime, and that way I'm not sending confusing messages and people aren't having to second guess. I'm here like I said, unless I'm recording a game, I'll respond in chat and everything. And, okay. All right, so kind of a baby-ish. But hey, kudos to Manauk. Kwarma Queen? Cheesy Poof. Anybody remember Mr. Cheesy Poof? Is a fellow, I believe, from like the Netherlands or something. Anyway, really cool guy. And he used to play quite often, and he's the only one I knew that ever ran Kwarma Queen. He liked that card for some reason. Liked the Kwarmas and all their Kwarma-ness. Alright, so it looks like we're going to poke with our 1-4 just to get that little bit of damage in there. We're going to hit with our big guy, and it looks like we're going to be able to wrap this up. So, just running a lot of off-brand cards, even the 5-4. The Charis Reaver is definitely an offbeat card. All right, so we've made absolutely no progress so far, but like I said, obviously I would like to hit rank 4, but I've got stuff to do after work today. I've got stuff to do after work on Thursday, and I'm still. To me, it's more important to get the videos. It's more fun for me watching games, getting all of your stuff out there. So my focus has shifted. I mean, when this began, it was Schwaaard's journey, and now it's our journey. And I do that on purpose because I think it's better to be about more people than just myself. If for no other reason, like if I was amazing at this game, if I was creating crazy cool decks that people could be like, oh wow, that's awesome, then that would probably be my thing. Like Sly Boogie, I guess that's his full name. He makes great decks and plays them very well. And so you can pretty much just do that, and people will tune in just to see amazing, your amazing plays and everything. I don't have that luxury.
I can't stand interruptions.
Did I say hello? I can't remember. Nuts. Oh well.
Well, let's see if we can find something useful.
I have one of those too. Ah, there we go. Question is, do I want to trade her? Dark Guardian is not going to set up a favorable trade. That's not a favorable trade either. This is a favorable trade at the moment.
I can't stand interruptions.
Great thing I love about him is that, like, it eliminates. You don't have to worry about silence. A lot of cards you play, you've got to worry about that because it's one of the ways to remove it. Here it looks like just going to make that trade, which is fine.
Now I understand.
She does understand so many things. I forgot how many actions I have in this deck.
I can't stand interruptions.
Yeah.
My paws are
And if Discerning
thicker
Thief
than
does get to
your
pilfer, we'll play Sentinel Reclaimer to get the dagger and sword out. Might get a lightning bolt here. Okay. All right. So interesting. She does not get the chance to pilfer.
I can't stand interruptions.
Well, let's see if we can find something useful.
One more Magicka and we could have played 2 Sentinel Reclaimers. Start really building up our arsenal. So anyway, yeah, so... Oh, you are going to get negated, you piece of crap. Actually, no, I don't think I have to do that. I'll just dagger you.
Let's put these to use. Well, let's see if we can find something useful.
I smell the stench.
So my rules, just continuing to build up his hand. Unfortunately, our hand is almost all small arms,
They dare face the Blade Mistress of Valen?
Okay. So it's just a tedious
Let's put these to use.
removal fest here for now. Thinking to wear me down with boredom. We will see how that goes. It may work. I may just get bored with the game and move on to something else, but we'll see. We shall see. We haven't got to play anything fun yet. I mean, Throne Aligned. I mean, it's a 50-card deck. And we've seen one Throne Aligned in, what, 3 games? 4 games? Okay, Singleton. That makes a little more sense. Doesn't make me feel any better. I've seen what y'all can do with Singleton, and it does not fill me with glee. Good news, though,
Friend.
is if he can survive, we do have a Mighty Conjuring a-coming. But so far, if we've learned anything, it's our opponent has ways of removing. That's not one of them, so that's cool. Don't know if I should play Mighty Conjuring over here, though. What do they have? They have Fell the Mighty, Leaf Lurker. Expunge won't help us. We'd have to Steel Sword. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, we can do both. Let's go ahead and put this down before we do that. Alright, so yeah, we could probably see Fell the Mighty. That's going to certainly be something they're running in this deck. Or, well, Drive Mad wouldn't hurt. Alright, so I guess we're going to get a... let's go ahead and negate that guy.
Careful there, friend.
We've got our Expunge in hand. If he wants to ignore the 5/4, he'll be able to do stuff. I mean, yeah, we're Leaf Lurker and Finish Off. Like I said, I'm expecting those to be in this as well. So our 8/8 is probably going to go bye-bye here next turn. And unlike my rules, we are running out of cards. There's only one we have in hand that he doesn't know what it is, which is Expunge. Which luckily for us is a draw. Okay, so... Yep, there we go. Like I said, I figured he wouldn't last. But... yeah, let's go and do this. Hit him in the face. Get rid of your guy here. And we are one off from being able to deploy our Hulking Mummy as well, which kind of sucks, but... Oh, and Expunge is only for that turn as well for the 5/4. Good to know. Alright. And Siege is going off. So we have reached worst case scenario. Almost out of cards. And yeah, Siege is a powerful thing.
Wonderful day to celebrate.
Hey, alright.
Wouldn't you say?
Old Cadwell. Let's go ahead and
well rid of you.
mummify this guy here. Hulking Mummy there. We've got 2 Shadow Fens, 2 Expunges, and 3... Of course. Again, like I said, we're seeing some fresh stuff. Okay, that's probably game at this point. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna...
On your guard, mongrel pup.
But we'll... Like, I'm not annoyed. It just looks like we're about to lose here. And...
This was a worthy contest.
Okay, how about you pipe down? My rules?
By Stendar's breath.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's gonna do it. Cool.
I bow.
I mean, you want to talk about eye rolls, my gosh. Oh, well.
The big hitters in this deck are Bone Colossus, and if you get enough of the kind of little skeletons out, Skeleton Champion, very good. There is also Training Grounds and Divine Fervor. There's very few cards in the deck that are not skeletons, so generally Training Grounds will go off as you play skeletons. No, I'll keep it. Knowing my luck, I would draw into something really high.
Did you hear that? I know you're out there.
And I am glad I'm actually getting these guys
Did you hear that?
really early.
When Lord Dagon comes, I won't need to hide any longer.
I know you're
concerned
out
about
there.
Let's see. I don't have any skeletons to play. Really. but if I draw into one of the buffs, then this guy
Get away!
will be pretty good.
That's one trick I'll have to learn.
I know you're out there. I know you're out there.
Should have just let me pick your pocket.
Well, I guess I can tutor out, they have another piercing slot, so don't get rid of support removal. And Telvanni loves its supports, so...
I know you're out there.
I'm doing that. Wow. Okay, man. That's cool. Not really. I actually really hate you for that, but, it's whatever. It's whatever. I'm gonna hope that they're gonna just kind of keep spending Magicka to just remove stuff as I keep summoning more skeletons. Kinda like that. That's a mummy, right? Yeah, it doesn't count. Alright, so I'm gonna bone this into Skeleton Champion. Hopefully, if they all stay alive. Clever. But not clever enough. Swing for a ton of damage. There's very little that they can do to answer this, like, immediately. Like, maybe an Ice Storm. Into, like, specifically Giant Bat.
Yeah, I just talked,
I don't
and
think I
then
have it.
continuing to do so. I know wars to fight, dragons to confront. The hiss shall heal you.
Alright, I'll at least get this out of the way. So I feel like he might have the Ice Storm. So I'm gonna try to fuck this guy. And one of these guys. And even throw this guy. Now he's gonna need something really big to survive.
What have we here?
He's searching. Giant Bat. Is the
They've
Giant
no
Bat.
move we
No?
can't anticipate.
Alright, man.
By the aim, a fine battle.
Alright, I hope you all enjoyed my commentary. And I hope you all have a great day as well.
And this video is brought to you by Envious Reflection, a creation of Yum Yum 36. First time we're seeing one of his creations manifested here. As you see, it is a 2-cost willpower. 3/2, when another creature is summoned, steal its creature types. Now, I like this card for many reasons. First of all, you can see it's cool. It's a blank slate. Under Envious Reflection, where it usually would have creature type, there's nothing there. Creepy. And it is actually a pretty creepy image, honestly. A little disconcerting. But I like this because it's understated. It's not a, like, oh, wow, this is really cool. Or, oh, you know, it's not the big sword. It's something very small and very subtle where you go, okay, what are the different ways that I can use this to my advantage? I mean, it's a unique thought. Like, I never would have thought that to make a card like this. The closest thing we have is Reflective Automaton, which is, you know, it's all things to everyone. But, you know, something like this where it's like it steals a type. And at first, I mean, so I think I'm probably, you know, coming at it from a high level here, like just an overview. I'm going, okay, there's probably a lot of nefarious and insidious and really clever ways to use this that I'm not able to think of. The one thing that just stick out to me, it doesn't say duplicate the creature types, it's steal. So if you're playing against orcs, and they need to have an orc on the board to trigger that 4/3 and make them a 6/5, you put this down, steals it, no longer an orc. It's a nothing. So I'm guessing, which would be kind of cool, if this is what Yum Yum intended, you know, now the blank under Envious Reflection gets filled with that type, and that orc is now a blank slate, and so now that doesn't trigger. It would prevent, I'm guessing, I don't know how that would work with Reflective Automaton. The Reflective Automaton, as we've seen many times, is used in lieu of, you know, like an Atronach, so that you can trigger like the Alfiq without actually having to have played an Atronach. I don't know if it steals Reflective Automaton, if it just makes Reflective Automaton essentially a nothing. So if you consume it, it doesn't do anything, because it doesn't, its blank slatedness, or its openness has been reduced to blank. I don't know if that's how that would work, but the cool thing is it does stack. So every time a creature is played, so if you have Envious Reflection on the board, and they play an orc, an elf, whatever, those start to stack, and Envious Reflection begins to be all those creature types. And so right now I can't think off the top of my head of a mechanic or a thing that an action or anything that really benefits from multiple creature types. But it doesn't hurt either. And that doesn't mean there isn't one, that just means I'm drawing a blank on it. But I do think the fact that it steals, it doesn't replicate, it doesn't reflect it, it takes it away. I think that it obviously is very good for removing any kind of tribal stuff, whether, you know, obviously, well, there's multiple tribal versions, goblins and things of that nature. But now it also says when another creature, so in theory it's also stealing any creature that you play, which is interesting. So yeah, this is not meant to be, I don't think this is not, I think, to me it seems more of a defensive thing. It's okay, you keep playing stuff and I'm going to steal your creature type, so if it is like a goblin deck, if it's an orc deck, I think that would be the primary, that's how I'm seeing, that's the primary use of this. I'm not entirely sure what Yum Yum, what the intention was behind it. I did scroll down in the comments, and I didn't really see anything pertaining to this directly, other than that it does stack. So every time a creature is played, whether in theory, whether it's you or your opponent, every one of those creatures, their type is getting removed or getting stolen. So very interesting card. Like I said, very understated. It's one of those ones where I think you get the right minds behind it, and they're like, okay, this is how I can make this card ridiculously amazing. But unfortunately, that's about as deep as I can go with it. So anyway, thank you to Envious Reflection and YumYum36 for the sponsorship. And now back to the video.
I'm a collector. Like, that's a lot of the games that I get addicted to, like Borderlands and things. It's because there's things to collect, there's leveling up to do. I've reached a certain point now with this particular account where all there's left to do really is play. I mean, I don't have all the cards. That is a curve I can live with.
Luck to your house.
And so a lot of my, and I had that moment or that time when I was trying to reach Legendary, and that was a huge thing for me. And I was able to do it, and I did it 2 or 3 times actually. And so that goal has been kind of achieved.
Waking and sleeping.
And so yeah, so I have more fun watching the crazy cool stuff you guys do and building up that secondary collection. That's another thing too, though. Like, I haven't, what am I doing with that other one? There was something else that was a lot of fun.
Protect the Ashkan.
Oof. Alright. Thank you, Crown Quartermaster. Actually, that doesn't help me at all. Yeah.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
It prevents breakthrough at the moment. But it's going to get his Awakened Dreamer big enough to trade with our guy there.
I'm ready for anything. You're going.
Okay.
The Black Hand sees all. Don't underestimate.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get another shackled guy down here. Okay, we seem to be running afoul of an internet connection. Unfortunately. At least I'm not, watching a game. But anyway, there was something I was doing. There was, having a new account, a fresh account was letting me do. I mean, I got to play through the campaigns again. And yeah, it's just
protect the Ashkan.
Goodness gracious. Come on, where's my expunge? Where's my silence? That's not going to do it. I mean, that's my fault for playing nothing but shackled creatures. So now, unfortunately,
Watch yourself now.
a ward on this wouldn't do anything because he doesn't mind trading in Ungolem. And she can trade now. But now I have 2 creatures that do not require them to be unshackled. Okay.
You can't win. Oh, for the ash.
Breaks through, is going to get bigger. She can trade, not have to worry about it.
Feel the nightmare's love.
Joyous.
Face me, you
There's our unshackle. Hey, thanks for showing up, buddy. Appreciate you.
I will keep the amulet safe from harm.
Big dog. Oh, and once again, we now have no answer for this guy.
For the ash.
So this is just going to get worse and worse and worse. He's going to be able to hit us for a ton next turn, and we don't really have a guard for it. I mean, this game's pretty much over at this point.
stench of the living.
Which is all right. It is all right. So probably Sai Sahan makes that trade, goes face with the Ashlander. Yeah, this deck just, it doesn't have as much consistency as I was hoping it would. You know, when we have, I mean, this is the first time we've had a shackled creature and a way to unshackle it pretty much at the same time. And I'm guessing a finish off here. And if so, then we're just good game. Or Leaf Lurker. Yep. All right.
I bow to your.
I'm building my collection right now in the other account based on trying to complete that deck. And I've got everything now but like 6 legendaries. So it's going to take me another freaking year to finish it because, you know, 6 legendaries, that's a lot of stuff. But you know, so it's just streamlined. So in theory, if I wanted to climb with it, I have a deck that I know can win, but I have limited satisfaction in that because, you know, as A-Ross talked about, I mean, how you play the deck is a huge deal, but there's a synergy. You have to, it has to be a good deck and you have to play it well. If it's a bad deck and you play it well, you see what, I'm not saying that I'm playing the deck well, but I don't know that I'm playing it particularly poorly. And maybe I am. Maybe you're like, you shouldn't have done this or you should have done that. But, you know, it needs to be a solid deck at least, and you need to be able to play it well. And so I've begun taking less satisfaction playing other people's decks, not because, it needs to be me, but that's part of it. Part of it is, to me anyway, the way Shizo the Monkey Boy. All right, well, at least your name's not secretly phallic or sexually derivative, like sir, whatever. Anyway, yeah, it's just a very, like, I want to be able to create decks, and I'm just not there. And, yeah, like I said, I mean, I didn't think this deck would be amazing. I thought it would be middling. It's on the wrong side of middling. It's definitely in the we lose to pretty much everything unless we get very, very lucky camp. And maybe aggro, because we haven't really come up against hard-nosed aggro. We've been coming up against a lot of pretty good mid-range. Really, the only decks we've beaten are the ones that have even weirder cards than we do, like your Kwarma Queens and stuff like that. They're sort of, I mean, this is the whole reason I run the deck, and this is the second time we've seen it. I mean, admittedly, some of that's the frustration as well. You know, you come up with what you think is a good idea, and it may be a good idea, but if you never get to actually do it, which means the deck is bad. I think that was something that A-Ross pointed out. If you don't have the consistency, if you're not drawing what you need, it means the deck's bad. I'm like, okay, well, it means I need to get I need to make the deck better, but I'm not really Schwaaard to do that, and it does feel like, I mean, and there is a formula to a degree. I mean, obviously there's a lot of room. I mean, K Fluffy, I mean, so many of you have shown that there are multiple ways to build an effective deck. But you have to have, but I don't think that's, I mean, to a degree it's teachable. But I think some of it is just innate. It's just like any other skill, any other ability, any other thing you're good at. Like, there are certain things that I'm probably good at that some of you would be like,
A little
oh, that's...
might prove useful.
Really? You don't want to crack the ward? Okay. I guess we'll have to Shadow Fenner. We can't Shadow Fen and Reclaimer. So we're probably going to lose the 1-2. He's going to attack that. So he's trying to do board control just kind of like we are. And this is probably going to be the last game. We're coming up on 45 minutes or so. And unlike when I spectate with you all, which a lot of times, like the video, you can see it on the timeline. It's like, you know, here's a game and there's this huge blank spot where I'm looking for games or I'm typing or something. So the audio dips down. That's really how I find my place on there, is just off of the timeline. So yeah, see, this would be a time where we could really use our Throne of Line Dres Renegade combo, but
This should help.
Right now I think that's just a better play. We're not breaking that rune, and if he wants to attack her, he can attack her. But we will do Throne Aligned on one of these two.
Hardly a challenge.
Okay.
We'll hold, no matter what.
So I guess we'll be doing it on him. I mean, that only makes him a 7. Do we dare start? Because if he nukes him, we're in trouble.
Mother of
Let's make the trade. We'll just do this. So we do lose our 9/7. Either by a bunch of removal. Yeah. Fantastic. Alright. So go ahead and hit face. And that's not going to help you because we have Dres Renegade.
I can't stand interruptions.
The watch is mine.
Careful there, friend.
I can't stand interruptions.
Okay. Fortunately, that negates our imprisoned Death Lord.
It's time to
And yeah. So it doesn't look like this is going to go particularly well. So let's go ahead and
I will keep Sothasil's people alive.
some Dark Guardians there. And we'll go ahead and crack this.
Well, let's see if we can find something useful.
All right. So Chizo is probably going to get some good value out of the 5th Legion Trainer. I'm guessing at least 2 of those cards are going to come down and get that 1/1 buff.
Soldiers,
And that's kind of worst case scenario. Anytime they can spit out creatures like that. Knowing our luck at this point, they're going to do it again. No? Okay, that's fantastic.
Nothing like a good
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Pile it on.
Let's put these to use.
Alright, so...
Repel the Outlanders.
Well, let's see if we can find something useful.
Alright. No way to free our imprisoned Death Lord when Jaggerfall comes down. So just continuing to whittle away. Hulking Mummy, also not helpful. There we go. That's helpful.
Let's put these to use.
Arguably shouldn't have done that. I mean, either way, they get the tome. Although she would have to have attacked my creature to get the tome. But I also want to be able to trade, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Stand ready.
Shield.
I'll break your spirit.
Okay. So we will be able to...
This should help you.
And we're just gonna... We're setting up for the kill.
Chimeric spirit of the sky, guide us!
Steadfast, brothers.
So he's probably gonna trade with the 4/4. No!
Nothing.
Alright, he's gonna push it. Gotta go for it. Let's see. Can I... Nope, gotta break it. Cool. Alright. So our last game is a win. That's great. But yeah, not gonna make rank 4 unfortunately this season, so we'll actually be where I'm at with the other account. So they're pretty much even at this point, and I think I'm in exactly the same place that I was when I began. It is what it is, you know. But this is why you don't see me doing this as often, because, like I said, the things that I enjoy about the game have shifted. My attention has shifted, and so, you know, like I said, I started doing this because I was looking for games to watch. I wanted to see people play, and nobody. I mean, there are people like Sly Boogie and the Wargenator. I'm not exactly. I don't think I've ever heard him say his actual name there. But you know, there are people still playing, and you occasionally get like core data and things like that, or data that come in and out. But there wasn't a consistent, you know, abundance of content. So I started doing it because I was like, all right, well, if there's a dearth, I will fill the gap, and that quickly kind of built and snowballed into a community, which is fantastic. And so now it's being able to show that community and show the spotlights and everything. So it's kind of shifted, but there's that little part of me that every once in a while still wants to play the game, but maybe just kind of not as a private thing, but just as a, like, I just want to chill, relax, have some downtime. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I don't want to go too long in this, but I am an introvert. That's how I'm wired. So I get energized by being alone, by having kind of downtime there. And if I don't get a lot of that, if it's a lot of communication, a lot of going out, which online counts because they're real relationships. I mean, online, the only thing that makes online tricky, the reason why it has this negative stigma when it comes to dating or anything else, is just because there's so much anonymity. There's so many ways to put up a facade, to pretend things are what they're not, to pretend that we're something that we're not. And not everybody does that. But and a lot of it is engaged. I'm going to put my best foot forward, or I'm going to, if I'm going to say something as a bad story, it's because I want sympathy, or I want people to go, oh, or to give me attention. It's not. It tends to be, or it can be, very self-centered, because a lot of times it's not. It doesn't require you to have a functional relationship. So you can have friends online where it's surface level engagement, or where it's not even really truly engagement because you're not really putting yourself out there, and neither are they. So it's just going over, or it's something very harmless, which is, hey, I'm playing a game, you're playing a game, we only need to go but so deep. Like, I just want somebody to hang out with, I want somebody to do this with, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's why, in those relationships or those engagements don't really take much of a toll, or they don't require anything of you because you're not really giving anything to them. If you're playing a game, you're having fun, that's just somebody that you're talking with. There's not that exchange. But you can forge those deeper relationships. You can have that. Just because it's online doesn't mean it's not real. If two people are willing to be real with each other, and it's not just a matter of, hey, you're here and I'm here, let's do this, then it does go deeper naturally, which is just like it would in a real relationship. You're just not face to face, but you can grow that relationship and it goes deeper. But then that also starts to tap into that the relational dynamic and those emotional reserves and everything, which as an introvert, as I'm saying, you know, when it's real, it's going to start kind of making that a little bit harder. And for better or for worse, I think we've got a lot of very real people in this community. And so that being the case, like you start to form real friendships, real relationships with people, which is the goal. That's the dream. That's the purpose, is to use this technology, use this ability to connect and communicate in a way that we can actually connect and communicate with each other on a very real and fundamentally sound way. But that does mean, though, that it's not just it's a very casual thing. It is, and it's not a burden, but it engages whatever it is socially that makes an introvert an introvert. And it goes, okay, I've been talking and doing and whatever for, 16 hours this week. I'm just frazzled. Even though it hasn't been face to face, it wears you down. You go, I need time to myself. So that's partially why the account is there. Like I said, and I don't want there to be mixed signal. I mean, obviously, some of you, I had several people today, reaching out to me for conversation, like, hey, giving me compliments and everything, or, saying things. And I want to engage, but like I said, I don't want to interrupt the game. So there's a little mixed messaging there. It's like, okay, I'm online, but I'm not really talking right now. But as I said, usually once the game is over, I will reach out and have that conversation. But I wanted I'm an introvert. I just kind of want to turtle up right now and just be by myself, but also want to do the collecting thing. It's why I play Borderlands so many times. Yes, I've maxed out my level, how many times, but it's okay. Now I want to do it again. Skyrim, same thing. It's like you're leveling up, you're collecting items. That's the kind of stuff that appeals to me. Those are the games that I get a lot of replay out of, because it feels like you're building something, you're gathering something, whether it's experience, whether it's levels, whether it's equipment, whether it's houses, whatever it is, it feels like it's growing. It's not just a linear, like I did this, it's done, it's over with. And so with Legends, I think that there's that little fun part of me just going, okay, I'm going to build up another collection. And it sucks but the other thing too is it forces you, like that deck that I just played, that is actually, it started on the other account, because I was like, I saw Throne Aligned. I happen to have 3 copies of Throne Aligned. As I'm going through, I'm going, okay, what can I make with what I've got? I mean, it's a very bare minimum collection. I did buy some cards. I bought some packs and things to contribute to the game. That set me off in a much better position than I was when I first began the game. It gave me more gems to work with, but not phenomenally. So I'm still having to really grind, in those daily quests and things to build up any kind of collection. But I built that deck because I had 3 Throne Lines. I'm like, you know what? Let me see. And then I was like, oh wait, this is like my Silence and Violence thing. I can use that, and then if I use Expunge or something else, I can free up that and be able to hit with it. And but I didn't have all the cards. I only had 2 copies of Expunge. I only had 1 Imprisoned Deathlord, none of the mummies. So it was like it's a bare bones collection. And I only ever played it against the computer because just the ladder. I ladder enough to get to rank 8, and then I let it go. But anyway, all that to say, that when you have fewer cards to work with, when you have a limit, it promotes creativity, or it makes you feel like you've got this challenge. Like, I'm really in it now. I've only got this very basic collection, and I'm trying to piece together, decks that can be competitive or decks that can actually help me climb. Whereas when you've got either the complete collection or as much of the collection that you really care to have, that's not a challenge. It's the challenge is being able to build the deck when you have all the best stuff to pick from, and I'm not good at that. It's like I said, you can be taught to a degree, but some of it is going to be innate. Some of it's just going to be an instinct. Some of it's going to be like, well, why'd you pick this one over this? And well, this card seems to have more value because of this and this and this, and so on and so forth. And I just don't have that. Like, my instincts are going to be wrong probably more than they're right when it comes to, what if, I mean, so many times I'll see a card and I'm like, oh, that card is absolutely crap, I'll never play that. And then I go, and watch a Justin Larson video, and he's playing that card and say, like, this card is amazing. And he's right. And when he explains it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess I see how that works. But, or like, Was it Jay Shades? Who was it? It might have been Joseph, who initially told me that the 3/4 Discerning Thief is like, or maybe Aros. A lot of people actually said the 3/4 Discerning Thief is the best 3-drop in the game. And I was like, I never played it because I'm like, I don't want to discard stuff. I like what I have in my hand. I don't want to have to lose it. But there's so many applications in which that's actually very helpful. And after playing it for a while, I was like, okay, no, I see the value in you now. So, but that wasn't innate to me. To me, it was like, why do I want to get rid of cards? That's dumb. Every card I have in the deck is a card I want to play. Why would I want to get rid of it? Well, situational. And there's so many applications for it. So all of that, I'm just kind of coming out and saying that's the way things are at the moment. And like I said, I did this only because of the hour that I'm doing this, and because I don't have the time between games. I need to make sure I had enough between this, Vincenzo's video. Hopefully I will have one of another Thiago's videos in here, if I can get it from him, and Brave, mix it all together, and hopefully you'll now have this video. You'll be watching this on Wednesday going, yay, cool. But yeah, so I gotta get going. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening, if you have been. And you can let me know your thoughts, what you think about it. But yeah, hopefully I will be able to get back to spectating and watching all of your amazing stuff. I'll be recording a spotlight this weekend. I rambled along too far enough. Thanks again so much for watching, and until next time, keep playing.